how to practice beat matching with DJ Pro. I'm DJ Spiegel Spin, and in this video, we're going to talk about it. A lot of people that start off DJing or want to get involved with DJing think that beat matching is the most important thing to learn, that if you can't manually beat match, then you're not a real DJ. If you use the sync button, you're not a real DJ. Now, although I completely disagree with this, and I believe that you could get started DJing and even do gigs without even knowing how to do beat matching, and there's plenty of transitions and plenty of effects and plenty of ways to get from one track to another that doesn't involve beat matching, and you could go do gigs and you'll be fine. But also, I think that as a DJ, learning these tricks and these specific skills will make you more confident as a DJ, knowing that if you wanted to do it manually, you could do manual beat matching. If you wanted to do scratching, you could do scratching. So just like with scratching, beat matching is something that takes a little bit to learn. It takes muscle memory, and then sometimes you can't just learn it in one day. You can't just go, oh, I'm going to learn beat matching today and do it. Sometimes you could. For some people, I guess you could. But for the most part, it's something that you're going to have to practice in order to get down. Now, for me, before I started DJing, I was working as a driver for other DJs. So I would drive them and their equipment to the gigs. I would make sure we get there on time, make sure that everybody has everything when we leave and everything goes smoothly that way. And then the DJs would play their CDs, because they would use CDJs, and they would have these CDs with all these tracks on them, and they were EDM tracks. And then when I was driving in the car for fun, when there was going to be a drop in the song, so there'd be the build up, then the drop, I would hit the auto window button in the car at the exact right time, and then the windows would come down and all the wind would come in, and it was a really cool experience, and it really brought out the drop. And what I didn't know at the time was I was actually practicing beat matching. So I'm going to show you guys in DJ Pro how we could easily practice our beat matching, and practice makes perfect, and then the more you practice it, you will get it down. So all you have to do for this exercise is find your two favorite EDM or electronic dance songs to practice beat matching with. The reason why I suggest that it's an EDM song or an electronic song is because some songs just can't beat match. Like if you do classic rock or reggae and genres like that, where there was actually somebody playing the drums and it wasn't made on a machine, then even though in DJ Pro it'll say that the BPM is exactly the same, it may be a little bit off because it was recorded live, and that's something that you have to keep in mind, that some songs just can't be beat matched. So have two of the same song loaded into a deck. So deck 1 have the same song, deck 2 have the same song, and then what we're going to do is, if you look where my mouse is, over here, let me get the waveforms open. Over here, this button's set. Wherever you press set and you have the waveform lined up, it'll set a temporary cue point there. So we're going to go here, press set. And then when you press this jump button, it's going to play it from that exact spot. So pick one of these yellow lines, because this is where the bars and the beats start. And then play the song on the first deck. And then all we're trying to do is hit this button at the exact right time. So when you press this button, it plays for however long your finger's on it, and then when you let go, it stops playing. So keep practicing, and then when you get it right, hold it in and see what it sounds like. Because knowing how to do something wrong is the best way to know how to do it right. So I'm going to show you what it sounds like when you hit the button at the wrong time and it's off. You see, that is off, and it sounds terrible. It sounds like they're going against each other, and our brains as humans can only process one beat at a time. So if you have your beats off, it's going to sound terrible, and everyone in the audience is going to get a headache, and it's not what you want to do. So to do it correctly, have the song on the first deck playing, tap. There we go. That's what it sounds like when you get it correctly. And then also, even though when you take your finger off of this button, it stops playing, you could easily use another finger or just slide your finger over and then hit play when you do get it right. So it's the same thing as if you're driving, when you're driving in your car, or if you're listening to music, if you're like tapping your finger on a desk, or, you know, playing the drums on the steering wheel. That's all we're doing, is we're tapping, but we're tapping the button to play the song. So we just have to get the rhythm down. Most people, if they're playing guitar, if they're playing drums, they'll be tapping their feet to the beat or tapping their hand to the beat. That's all we're doing with beat matching, but we're pressing the button to the beat. So here we go. Play one song. And then there we go. And now it's playing. And you don't have to be 100% on. So even if you're really close, like this, we could use these buttons over here. So they may be hard to see, but there's a plus and a minus button over here, and a plus and a minus button over here. What this does is, if you press the plus, it's going to temporarily speed up the track a little bit so you could get it lined up better, and then the minus is going to slow down the track. It's the same thing on controllers. On a controller, the top of the jog wheel is, on most controllers, is going to be for scratching, and then the side is, you could speed it up or slow it down. So that's why when you see DJs beat matching, they're kind of like spinning the jog wheels and it looks really cool. That's what they're doing. They're slowing down the track and they're speeding it up. But also with Djay Pro, we have access to these waveforms. So what we could do is you could tap it to slow it down. That's what I end up doing a lot. Or you could use these plus and minus buttons. So I'm going to show you an example. I got it a little bit. It's a little bit off, and I'm going to use these plus and minus buttons to fix it. So it's a little bit too fast, so we just press the minus. And now it's lined up perfectly. So this is the same thing as if we use the sync button. So instead of pressing the button at the exact time, when sync is on, it'll automatically bring it to the same lines. So if you're using just the iPad, or even if you're DJing with just your phone, and it may be hard to press the button at the exact right time, then you could just leave the sync button on, because all it is it just corrects the way you press the button. So practice this. All you have to do is have two of the same songs and just practice pressing the button at the right time. That's pretty much what beat matching is. And then once you get it down, you'll be more confident. And then at the gigs, you'll know if you wanted to, you could beat match perfectly manually. But if you don't have the time, if you want to enjoy the party a little bit more, or you want to prepare the next track, or you have other stuff going on, you could just leave the sync button on, because you already know that you could press the button at the correct time. So if you like learning tips and tricks about Djay Pro and how to do specific transitions and mixes, and also want to learn everything there is to know about DJing with the iPad, subscribe to my channel and give this video a like.